The future of several local landmarks may be at risk, putting jobs and events booked far in advance in jeopardy. It's Wednesday evening. I'm Amber Kriska. But the announcement by a group that owns multiple properties across the area is notable for what it doesn't say. Peoria-based KDB Group alluding to some tough decisions going forward. And Jon Schoenheider is live in front of the Scottish Rite Theater with more on what it means for these projects. John.
Yeah, that's right, Amber. We just received a release this afternoon from the KDB Group right here. You can see a pretty short release, not too much detail in there, but there is one paragraph in particular that cites two pretty prominent projects that the group has been working on over the past couple years. One of them being the Betty Jane Brimmer Performing Arts Center in Peoria Heights, and then this building right here, the Scottish Rite Theater in downtown Peoria. Now, both of those buildings have a pretty long and storied past, both of them dating back as far as a century, and they were purchased in 2019 by KDB founder Kim Blickenstaff for renovations. Now, the Betty Jane reopened that same year, with the Scottish Rite coming 2 years later after some pandemic delays, that is. According to a release from the group as of 2019, Blickenstaff invested $6 million into the theater project. But in today's release, the group says that they are, quote, reevaluating the scope of existing and future operations of all projects and properties in the Peoria area. Now, they say that decision impacts operations at the theater and the Brimmer Center, but the release does not go into detail about those changes or whether this will impact any other properties or investments going forward. The last scheduled events on the two venues' calendars are for January 14th, but anything beyond that right now is uncertain. We even received an email from a bride that she got from the KDB Group informing her that the reservation at the Betty Jane that she had was canceled because of this announcement. Now, KDB owns other properties, including the San Cody Lakes Resort, and has multiple projects under development in Peoria Heights, including a boutique hotel and a park project as well. Now, we have made multiple attempts over the course of the day to get in touch with the KDB Group, with the Scottish Rite, with the Brimmer Center as well. Multiple attempts to get in touch with other people affiliated with those projects too, and to no avail at this point in time. But we're going to continue trying to get in touch with some people. Right now, the facility closed, the windows dark. Not much going on here. Really has not been much going on today overall as we try to get in contact with representatives, but we're going to continue to do so as the week goes on, and we'll continue to try and keep you updated on the air and online as we learn more about this situation. Amber, back to you.
Breaking news this hour, a father stands convicted of killing his wife, son, and a friend on a holiday normally reserved for celebrating. Clifford Brewer's triple murder trial in Livingston County is finished. I'm Tyler Lopez.
And I'm Amber Kriska. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours, and they say Brewer is guilty in a Christmas Day shooting in 2019 that killed 3 people.
Jon Schoenheider has been following this trial throughout, all the way dating back to last week in Livingston County. He is live for us this afternoon in Pontiac. And John, you just had a chance to talk with attorneys to get their reaction to these verdicts.
That's absolutely right, Tyler. Amber, the verdict is in, and the jurors did not take long to deliberate at all, coming out after less than 3 hours in the back room, and their verdict, guilty on all 6 counts of Clifford Brewer killing his wife, Shirley, his son, Christian, and their family friend and neighbor, Norman Walker, on Christmas Day in 2019. Now, this all followed a fiery closing argument session from both sides. Jurors returned afterwards, and the verdict came after prosecutors and defense attorneys say that these things on each end really happened. Prosecution went first, noting the number of times Brewer changed his story to control the narrative in his favor. They say it was his effort to hide important details, and the defense rebuked that, demonstrating how Shirley Brewer, Clifford's wife, committed the crime, saying it was a murder-suicide, and that includes a live bullet found at the scene, which they say was ejected by someone like Shirley who lacked experience with weapons and firearms. Now, ultimately, jurors rejected the defense's claims and convicted Brewer.
You know, obviously not something that we're going to celebrate, but we are thankful that the jury saw through the defendant's lies. We're thankful that the jury got it right, that he's going to be held accountable for his actions. So very thankful for that.
Now, the jurors did find Brewer again guilty of all 6 counts of first-degree murder, and we also spoke to the defense attorneys involved in this case, who say while they are disappointed with the verdict, they say they do plan to appeal. One other mention from the prosecution side, we heard that while justice was served in this case, that still is 3 innocent lives lost here in Livingston County and countless other lives affected by those who were connected and loved them. But right now, what we do know is that October 5th is set to be Brewer's sentencing date, where he faces life in prison without parole. From Pontiac, I'm Jon Schoenheider. Tyler, Amber, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, John.